quieter ride. Best of all, it costs less. See the new Matrix at Twin City Tire, $4.94 at Lindale in Richfield.
Scientists are now studying ways to give us forewarning so that chemical addictions may be prevented.
My dad's an alcoholic. And so's my grandpa. Will I be one too? Does anyone know?
The National Foundation for the Prevention of Chemical Dependency Disease wants to tell you how you can help. So write Quest, Box 2, Omaha, Nebraska, 68101.
You're watching KARE Minneapolis, St. Paul.
We're the University of Minnesota Dance Line. Good morning, 11 country.
Now, from the Action Center of the Twin Cities, News 11 Sunrise. With John Bachman, Andrea Shane, Steve Carroll on sports, and meteorologist Sally Patrick.
Good morning and welcome to Sunrise. This is a Tuesday. It is September 9th already.
And a bit nippy outside. I'm Andrea Shane.
I'm John Bachman, and it's not all that bad, though, because it's 54 degrees already, which is a little better than we've had past mornings. Yes. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's 10 degrees better than we had yesterday. Today is election day. No split tickets today. It looks like a mostly cloudy day throughout the day. I'll have a complete profile in just a few minutes.
Okay, good. Thank you, Roy. Well, topping Sunrise this morning, big decisions that could eventually shape the future of Minnesota.
This is primary election day, the first step in the election process in key races, including the one for governor.
Voting starts in an hour, and even though the balloting hasn't begun yet, there is already activity at local polling places.
There are quite a few primary races already being decided throughout the day. Actually, that will start at about 8 o'clock. And as Mary Stuckey tells us, there are a couple that will steal the limelight.
By far the most exciting race is the one for governor, pitting endorsed candidates against their challengers. Here are the prime contenders. On the DFL side, Governor Rudy Perpich vying for another term. He has the endorsement of the DFL party. Running against Perpich, St. Paul Mayor George Latimer. Vying in the Republican primary, IR endorsee and former state representative Cal Ludeman against Bloomington Mayor Jim Lindow. And there are other races. In one, incumbent state treasurer Bob Mattson faces a challenge from DFL endorsee Mike McGrath. Some candidates for U.S. Congress face opposition, and some county offices are up. In addition, there's a gubernatorial primary in Wisconsin. Polls open at 7 a.m. in the metro area and close at 8 tonight. Only about 25% of the registered voters are expected to turn out for the primary. At the primary, you can vote for either Republicans or Democrats, but you cannot vote for candidates from more than one party. For Sunrise, Mary Stuckey, News 11.
Now, if you're not sure where you are supposed to go to vote, there are two phone numbers to call. Both the IRs and DFLs have set up hotlines to answer questions on voting. The IR number is 854-1446, and the DFL number is 293-1200. And once the polls close, we will begin bringing you election updates, and we'll have complete coverage on News 11 at 10.
Some tense moments in St. Paul overnight as police worked to free a woman trapped in her car after an accident. It happened about 3 this morning at Broadway and Kellogg. Apparently, the woman was driving down a hill towards the intersection when she ran into a mail truck. When police arrived, they found the unidentified woman pinned behind the wheel, and it took several minutes to free her. Fortunately, she only needed to be treated for minor injuries. Thomas Volz will be appearing in Ramsey County Court this morning. Volz has been charged with running down a security guard with his pickup truck nearly 2 weeks ago at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds entrance. Police arrested Volz following a foot chase when Volz fled from the scene. The incident sent the security guard to the hospital with injuries.
A woman that was burned in the July explosion of a Mounds View pipeline will be going home today. Diane Balk is supposed to be released from the Hennepin County Medical Center's burn unit later today. It was just about 2 weeks ago that Balk was temporarily released from the hospital so that she could attend her daughter's wedding. Doctors say she is recovering well enough for her to go home for good. The scars still run deep from the Mounds View City Council following the pipeline explosion. They will be holding an executive meeting tonight beginning at 7 o'clock. The agenda will include discussion on the possibilities of several lawsuits stemming from the July disaster.
There's a new financial aid program being offered to nonprofit organizations. The Ramsey Action Program is offering financial assistance in the form of grants to organizations in need of upgrading energy efficiency in their buildings. The new program will pay for consulting services, energy audits, and weatherizing.
Members of the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra are warming up to their new leader. Deborah Border has been appointed as president and acting director of the nation's only full-time chamber orchestra. The appointment became official last night, and Border is expected to start her new position this November. She is currently the acting arts and administration director for the San Francisco Symphony. And future orchestra members now have a chance to get their head start at a new school of the performing arts in the Twin Cities. It just opened. The school combines pencils and books with dance shoes. The Conservatory of Performing Arts in St. Paul welcomes students taking regular classes. Students are also offered professional instructions in dance, acting, and music. 25 students are attending the conservatory, and more potential stars are expected to enroll as word of the school is passed along.
Looks like the television show Fame a little bit, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Good morning, Roy Fenner.
Good morning, good morning. It's a nice morning.
Yeah,
it's a nice, tender morning.
I hadn't thought of it quite that way.
Not too much wind this morning. 'Tis cloudy, however. And if you remember that much of last week's weather was all the result of one system and stayed much the same, well, we're on the way to some more of that, but completely different. The temperature is 54. The wind is from the east at 8 miles per hour. The dew point this morning is at a fairly dry 49 degrees. The relative humidity is 83%. Pressure is falling. It's at 30.03. We said it's cloudy this morning. Let's check the satellite picture to see how much cloudiness there is around us. Well, scattered low clouds here over Minnesota, and off to the west some more substantial cloudiness. And this is just the prelude to what the balance of the week is going to be, which looks like a pretty cloudy and in a lot of cases a moist week. After yesterday's just delightful weather. Later on today, here it is, we expect some scattered showers moving into the area. And again, this is the beginning of a system which moves on through for tomorrow and Thursday as well to continue the chance of showers in our forecast. Probably pretty breezy today. It might be rather uncomfortable. The details of the forecast for the Twin Cities show that we will have cloudy skies, a chance of afternoon showers, a high of only 64 to 68 with those southeast winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And for tonight, cloudy, showers and thunderstorms are likely with a low of 55 to 60 and southeast winds 10 to 20. And for tomorrow, variable cloudiness, just a possibility of a shower. And look, warm, 70 to 75, but southerly winds at 15 to 25. And that's just a preview, because then comes the real center of this system and rain Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to stick around for a little while.
Looks like it.
Okay. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you.
It appears summer movie-going wasn't as hot as summer weather. Figures now out nationally show that box office sales were down $200 million, but Top Gun defied the odds. By far the summer's #1 movie, it grossed a little more than $131 million. The Karate Kid Part 2 came in second. Back to School was third. Aliens fourth. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was fifth.
Top Gun was not only the top film, it also spawned a top tune, Take My Breath Away by the group Berlin.
So catch your breath as we take in some sights and sounds from Top Gun.
Budget Power, the home improvement expert, makes remodeling excitingly affordable during the Builderama sale. Enjoy the natural color, grain, and texture of wood when you use Olympic semi-transparent or solid color stain. Enjoy the rich colors and the quality performance of Olympic stain. Design a marble top for your bathroom with Lippert cultured marble vanity tops. Hundreds of styles, colors, and sizes. Experience the extraordinary. Relax and unwind in a Romanesque spa. Comes complete with redwood skirt and thermal cover. Shop the Builderama sale at Budget Power.
At Waterbed Warehouse, you pay less, a lot less. And at Waterbed Warehouses, you get more, a lot more. Here's another great example. Bookcase waterbed, waveless mattress, mattress pad, padded rails, and a 6-drawer pedestal, all for $399. Remember, if you don't buy your waterbed from Waterbed Warehouses, you'll probably just get soaked. Waterbed Warehouses, we've been here and we're going to be here.
You're telling me Trident helps fight cavities? It always has?
Well, I knew Trident didn't cause cavities, but help fight them? No, I didn't know that.
It's hard to believe a little piece of gum can do all that.
It's true. New dental studies prove it. Chewing Trident after sugary snacks reduces acids that form on teeth. It's these acids that can cause cavities. Ask your dentist.
Something that's delicious and good for you, I love it.
Couldn't happen to a better gum.
Trident, good to chew and fights cavities too.
54 degrees this morning, now 9 minutes past the hour. The mortgage rate roller coaster ride continues this morning. The latest government figures show that the interest on fixed rate mortgages on new homes dropped slightly to 10.8% at the beginning of August, while the interest on adjustable rate mortgages ended up close to 9.5%. Despite that rise, the government says the adjustable rate mortgage is still the most popular form of home loan.
In our business report, a good match for low mortgage rates.
And personal incomes are up, but not up for everyone. Kara King is here to fill us in.
Well, that's right, John and Andrea. Americans' average personal incomes have risen almost 21% since the end of the last recession. But according to the Commerce Department, the amount of money you take home at the end of the day could depend also on where you live. New Hampshire residents enjoyed the biggest income gain of any state, followed closely by Massachusetts and Connecticut. Wall Street will begin trading in just a few hours. The Dow Jones Industrial Average will open at 1,888.64, down 11.11 at the close of Monday's trading day. Gold fell $11 per ounce after a gain the previous day. It closed at $409. And for you gold investors and coin collectors, we mentioned yesterday a new gold coin has been minted. The first American Eagle gold coin was minted at West Point, New York. Treasury Secretary James Baker pressed the button to produce the first new form of legal tender. The coin will be available next month. In our business outlook this morning, the papers have been signed for the sale of 21 First Bank System Incorporated banks and branches. The banks affected by the move are located in Minnesota and in North and South Dakota. The Hello Minnesota store in Minneapolis is shedding its sign today. The store is changing its storefront face from summer to fall to fit the seasonal weather. And with the change of season, a new effort by the Minnesota Office of Tourism. As Alan Constantini reports, the tourism folks are trying their best to leave new visitors with enough information on our seasonal weather.
With the burst of fall colors comes a boom in Minnesota tourism.
I think it's nice, especially if you can get up on the North Shore when the leaves are changing.
The display of reds, greens, and golds is attraction enough, but there are also other advantages.
The crowds aren't as much. Obviously you get into a little cooler weather, I guess. Still nice and pleasant, but the bugs kind of have a way of disappearing a little bit. And obviously people feel the fishing sometimes improves.
Tourism can bring in $5 billion a year to the state. Newspapers, brochures, and TV ads boast the wonders of the land of 10,000 lakes, hoping to keep Minnesotans at home and also to draw people from out of state. Last year, the Minnesota Office of Tourism received 120,000 requests on fall attractions alone. So far this season, 60,000 questions have poured in.
It's kind of a good opportunity for people to get out if they haven't had a chance to get out in the summer, or if they have, to just take another side trip.
Hard as it is to believe, it's time to plan that trip now to enjoy the fall colors. Tourism folks are starting up their fall color hotline this week and say the end of the fall foliage cycle is only a short month away. Alan Costantini, News 11.
And Minnesota is such a beautiful state.
I know those are not file pictures, but let's just say they are.
Okay.
I tell you, it's going to be earlier this year, too. We ought to talk to Roy about that, but I think it's going to be much earlier this year.
I think you're
Thanks,
right.
Kara.
Thanks, Kara. Today on Action 11, Mike Igo puts his spotlight on another new product. He looks at a device that might help senior citizens with sight problems.
Bingo. And here's another one. I can't tell what time that is.
For 80-year-old Ralph Spicer of New Hope, reading was becoming a problem. Failing eyesight hampered his everyday needs, such as keeping up on the schedule of activities at the Northridge Senior Citizen Complex where he lives. Even a magnifying glass provided little help for his problem. But Ralph discovered a machine that gave the boost the spyglass didn't, a machine called the V-Tech Voyager.
The idea is that it makes it possible for me to see things that I haven't been able to see for many years. I could read things that I couldn't read before. I like to pick up a paper and see what the stock market did yesterday. That helps me.
The Voyager takes reading material and enlarges it to a number of different sizes. Print can also be changed from black on white to white on black to make for easier reading. Some models even feature a few colors. So if, like Ralph Spicer, you need a reading companion, the V-Tech Voyager may be for you. The product has to be ordered. And if you'd like more information about it, just write to me at Action 11, Box 111, Minneapolis 55440. And this is Mike Igo, Action 11.
Helps a lot, I'm sure.
Yes.
Still to come on Sunrise, what's happening to schools that are teaching future farmers? We'll let you know in our farm segment.
And there's a local teacher at the top of her class. We'll tell you who she is and where she teaches.
Dr. Dean Adele tells about a treat that may not be so good for your kids.
And what happens when there are two Heisman Trophy winners in the same backfield in the same game. Steve Carroll will fill us in on the details when we return.
This is a special Twin Cities Ford report.
On Friday, August 29th, Ford Motor Company announced their limited-time 2.9% APR interest program, their lowest finance rate in recent times.
This historic announcement came at a time when Twin Cities Northland Ford dealers were already offering low closeout prices on their entire line of 86 Ford cars and trucks. The response has been overwhelming. Sales are averaging over 400 new units a day, and supplies are running out.
Make sure you make the most of this unique opportunity. See your Twin Cities Northland Ford dealer today.
The hours some dentists keep are enough to make you grind your teeth. But now, Great Teeth has opened at Sears, so it's easier than ever to get an appointment. Great Teeth is open 7 days a week with the same convenient hours as Sears. And you can charge your visits on your Sears or other major credit cards. Great Teeth Dental Center, located at Sears. We give you something to smile about.
Call now for a back-to-school appointment.
The Babies Room brings you a baby furniture warehouse sale. Save 20, 40, 60% on quality items. Shop during the Babies Room warehouse sale and save.
Hi, I'm John Bachman. Contact Twin Cities is a 24-hour-a-day helpline for adults.
Are you home alone?
If you're troubled, lonely, or just need a caring person to talk to, call Contact Twin Cities. Trained staff can help with your problems. Call someone who cares about people. Call Contact Twin Cities at 341-2896.
It is 6:16 right now. Tomorrow begins the second and final week of quarter horse racing out at Canterbury Downs. Those fleet-footed animals teased and enticed fans and bettors all week. Their last race will be this coming Sunday, and then they will make way for the debut of harness racing. And that's with those buggies, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's with the buggies. That's
They have
when
a
they
better
ride
name
them
for
with the
that,
buggies. Last night I tried to stay up, Steve, but I just couldn't quite make it. It was a fun game.
Yeah, the question to, or the answer to what happens when you put two Heisman Trophy winners in the same backfield?
You win.
You win, and there's plenty of fireworks on the way. Week 1 of the NFL season is over this morning, and the Dallas Cowboys are the latest team to post a victory. Dallas outscored the Giants in the wild game on Monday night. The final score from Texas was 31-28. Of course, all eyes of Texas were on their new $1 million man, Herschel Walker, but it was his teammate, Tony Dorsett, who stole the early spotlight. Dorsett grabbed his Danny White screen pass and rambled, following his blockers, and scored from 36 yards out. And at least for now, Cowboy fans think that Tony Dorsett is number one. Fourth quarter now, the Giants' Phil Simms drops back to pass and finds Bobby Johnson, who makes the catch on the second try and then motors in for the score. New York led by 4 at that point. It was 28-24. Then late in the game, with Dorsett sidelined with a sprained ankle, Herschel Walker scored from 10 yards out with time running out. That lifted the Cowboys past the Giants 31-28. Walker, by the way, 2 touchdowns on the night and 64 yards rushing. The UPI college football poll is out this morning. No surprise, defending champion Oklahoma is on top. Miami is second, followed by Michigan, Alabama, and Penn State. Rounding out the top 10, it's Nebraska in at number 6. Then it's Texas A&M, Tennessee. Brigham Young and Baylor are tied for that 9th spot. Turning to baseball now, another rough night at the ball yard for the Twins as they were dumped by Kansas City, stretching their losing streak to 4. The final score from Kansas City was 5-zip. Dennis Leonard tossed a 3-hitter to get the win. Bert Blyleven took the loss. Two teams will wrap up their short 2-game series tonight in Kansas City. Royals started taking control of this game in the third when Jim Sundberg blasted a towering solo homer to left off Bert Blyleven. That's Blyleven's 39th homer he's given up this year, tying a Twins record. Later in the 8th, the Royals added a few more runs when George Orta singled to right, scoring Jamie Quirk and Steve Balboni as Kansas City rolls to an easy 5-zip victory over the Twins. One other score from the American League, Boston rallied to beat the Orioles 9-3-11. Baltimore's Earl Weaver reconfirming plans to retire at the end of this season. By the way, Wade Boggs was 4 for 6 in that game. Kirby Puckett 0 for 3 in that Twins loss to Kansas City. So Boggs takes over the batting lead with a .352 average, 6 points higher than Puckett. Over in the National League, the Houston Astros are starting to pull away from the second-place Reds in that Western Division race. Houston bumped off Cincinnati 3-1 and now own a 9-game lead over Cincinnati. Houston fans were counting the K's at the Astrodome last night as veteran Nolan Ryan was mowing them down. He finished the night with 10 strikeouts. Ryan combined with Charlie Kirkfeld on a 3-hitter to help lead the Astros past Cincinnati by the score of 3-1. It was the Houston Astros' 3rd straight win. Other finals now from the National League was Montreal over the Mets 9-1. But the Cubs, they beat second-place Philadelphia, so New York's magic number is down to 5. San Francisco squeezed by San Diego. Pittsburgh did the same against St. Louis, and the Dodgers bombed Atlanta 7-zip. In some notes, former Gopher linebacker Jeff Shue has signed on with the Green Bay Packers. Shue was released by Cincinnati after he turned down a no-pay increase contract. And a big $85 million proposal for a bunch of new athletic buildings over at the U will be presented to the Board of Regents on Thursday. Should be really exciting if they go through with it all.
$85 million.
$85 million, new hockey rink, new basketball rink, new swimming pool, field house, pretty much the whole works.
Yep.
Except the football building. No new football building.
They don't need that.
No, they don't.
Thanks, Steve.
Today is Tuesday. It's September 9th, and it was at this time in 1945 that U.S. troops moved into Tokyo.
The occupation of Japan after World War II had begun. General Douglas MacArthur was in charge of the occupation troops. It was their job to see that the country was disarmed and that the surrender worked out smoothly. The occupation began with a short flag-raising ceremony. Several military figures were there, including MacArthur, who said he hoped the flag over Tokyo would be seen as a symbol of hope.
60 years ago today, a network that we here at KARE all know and appreciate began. The National Broadcasting Company, NBC, was created by the Radio Corporation of America. And also on this date, in 1956, Elvis Presley made his first of 3 appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show. The rock and roller sang "Don't Be Cruel" and "Love Me Tender."
Great songs. You September the 9th birthday babies, your horoscope says your diligent efforts of the past few months should be paying off. Good news for oddsmaker Jimmy the Greek Snyder. He is 67 years old today. Dukes of Hazzard's Tom Wopat is 35, and actress Christy McNichol is 24 years old today.
Still to come on Sunrise, there's a local teacher who's outstanding in her class.
And we'll have this morning's headlines when we return.
Does your car suffer from the uh-ohs? Maaco has the answer for you. From rust, dents, crashes, to a great paint job, Maaco brings your car back to life, all for a price lower than you'd ever expect. And accident claims? It's all part of the job at Maaco. Maaco offers paint services that start as low as $119.95. Why pay hundreds more when Maaco has a paint job to suit every car, every pocketbook, just like 2 million other customers have enjoyed. So if your car has an uh-oh, better get Maaco.
Some gifts last just a short while, but others are meant for a lifetime. Like beautiful jewelry from Gordon's Jewelers.
Now at Gordon's, September sapphires for just $99. Pendants or rings with 1 carat total gem weight. Also available with rubies. $299, a lovely pendant or ring with 2 carats total gem weight. Hurry, sale ends soon.
When it's important enough to last a lifetime. Gordon's Jewelers, where love is in the air.
On April 26th, unidentified aircraft approached American airspace. Captain William Wiley, on 2-week training with the Air National Guard, was one of the first to act. But his employer had no idea he'd be responding to a possible enemy threat.
Bill, this is our hottest selling season, and you're going where? To the National Guard?
Target heading 270. The National Guard and Reserve is a full 1/3 of our nation's defense.
The Bear is turning away from U.S. airspace.
Protect their future while they protect yours.
Hello, I'm Smokey Bear, and these little fellows are gummy bears. We care about the forest and its creatures. But sometimes people get careless with fire, and our forest is destroyed. Please help old Smokey and the gummy bears. Be careful with fire. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
54 degrees now, 23 minutes past the hour. News 11 congratulates an award winner. Lois Fruin has received the 1986 Presidential Award in Science for Minnesota. The award honors Lois for her classroom expertise and her personal and professional goals. Only 54 teachers nationally win the honor. She currently is a science teacher at Breck School.
That school gets more awards.
Again, our congratulations, Lois Fruin.
You should have an award for the weather yesterday.
Wasn't that something? Yep. Whoa, we should just sit on that and forget about what's coming for the next several days. It was just really, really, really nice.
But we can't do that.
No. Everything, the world is going around. Yep. Hey, as long as you don't stop
forward.
that. Sure. The temperature at the moment is 54 degrees. The wind is from the east at 7 miles per hour. The dew point this morning is 49 degrees. Relative humidity is 83%. The pressure is falling. It's at 30.02. Take a second here to pinpoint Danielle, tropical storm, still in progress, 50-mile-per-hour winds down south of Puerto Rico and on its way in this direction at about 20 miles per hour. A few days it'll get closer enough to expand our interest in it. On the U.S. continent this morning, here is big, interesting area of low pressure. A complex system like this off beyond the mountains is typical late fall, and here we are in late summer, and we have this kind of a system moving slowly in this direction. Now, if you recall, the circulation in a system like this is in this direction. As it moves slowly toward us, it continues to engorge itself with additional moisture, and thus for the next several days we have precipitation in our forecast. The satellite picture this morning shows that a lot of moisture already up over Montana, and that's slowly moving in our direction. And later today, certainly a chance of showers for us, and then tomorrow, and the next day, even some more. Let's enhance this picture just a little bit. Sure, there's the more moisture-laden cloud. In fact, up in the western Montana, up in the mountains, they're expecting to have some wet snow today. Later today for us, the warm front moves a little closer. Out ahead of it, clouds and chance of rain, and even a greater chance tonight. And then as it slowly moves past us for tomorrow, make it a variably cloudy day, and then by Thursday, the whole system actually gets here, and more rain. Just continues to churn the moisture in our direction. So the details in your forecast show that for today, we are expecting the sky to be mostly cloudy, a chance of afternoon showers, and 64 to 68 degrees, and windy, southeast wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Cloudy tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely, a low of 55 to 60, continued southeast winds 10 to 20. For tomorrow, variably cloudiness, kind of an in-between day, a possible shower, but warmer, 70 to 75, still gusty winds from the south. And then as we print out the balance of the week, rain Thursday, no qualifiers, just rain, and 62 for a high, showers Friday, and perhaps it all gone by Saturday. Pretty wet forecast, but regardless of the weather, on election day, we're anxious to get out and to cast the ballots, Andrea.
Yes, you're going out to vote.
Sure.
Good. Thank you, Roy. In case you just joined us, here's another look at the stories from our headlines this morning. Last-minute preparations are being made right now at polling places throughout the state as Minnesotans get ready to vote in the primary elections. Voting begins in less than an hour and polls close at 8. We will have complete election results on News 11 at 10 and then continuing throughout the night. Doctors at Hennepin County Medical Center's burn unit say Diane Balk can go home today. Balk is the woman who was burned in the Mounds View pipeline explosion in July while delivering newspapers. It was just a little more than 2 weeks ago that doctors temporarily released Balk from the hospital so that she could attend her daughter's wedding. She has been at the burn center for nearly 6 weeks. And in St. Paul, police had to work to free a woman pinned in her car after an accident. It happened at Broadway and Kellogg at around 3 o'clock this morning. The unidentified woman hit a truck from the post office and was pinned behind the wheel. It took several minutes to free her. Fortunately, she suffered only minor injuries. There's confirmation today that the cool weather that we've been experiencing has slowed crop growth. And John Bachman is standing by with agriculture reporter Ken Speak.
Ken, we talked yesterday about how area farmers are looking for several weeks of very warm weather. It's not going to happen this week.
Nor last week.
No.
They'd like 85-degree temperatures or warmer to get crops mature. But till the last couple of weeks, crop development had been ahead. That is, good weather had allowed crops to grow to be more mature than the average of the last 5 years. But last week's coolness slowed things down. So now in Minnesota, about 8% of the corn is mature, contrasted to 3% last week. And in Wisconsin, 12 to 14% of the corn is mature. Both states reported only minor frost damage in northern areas. There was, a couple of months ago, there was a Federal Agriculture Department poll asking wheat growers about acreage controls. They wanted to check farmers' feelings about the best way to stop growing so much wheat that nobody can use it all. Well, the results showed that 57% of the farmers would favor a plan to limit the number of acres of wheat a farmer may plant. 43% opposed that. Now there's disagreement about the poll itself. Secretary of Agriculture Richard Ling says too few ballots were returned to give